Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening or watching the Tetsudo Mokei Podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy, and this is episode 60. And today we will talk about PLARAIL Real Class 1 year later, and my thoughts about the whole introduction of the PLARAIL trains that are targeted towards adults. So, back in June 2023, PLARAIL Real Class made its debut with two vehicles, the Odakyu Romance Car 3100 NSE and the Limited Express Series 185 Odoriko Green Stripes. So these two were to start a new era for the beloved plastic trains that many Japanese have grown up with since 1959. Just a little side note, the prototype plastic train and rail set was released in Showa 34, which is 1959. And in 1961, the first battery-operated vehicle known as the electric plastic train set was released. And also knowing that the collectors and purchasers of the trains have also gotten older. So, PLARAIL Real Class developer Iwata-san told Hobby Watch back in August 2023 that the reason for starting PLARAIL Real Class was in response to the declining birth rate and aging population. We have been trying to launch something for adults as a new approach, and we have been trying to challenge it for a long time. It started back in 2019. So it's known that Japanese couples are not having children, and as Japan's government tries to find ways to convince couples to have children without a younger customer base to depend on, as parent company Takara Tomy has done for many years. You just need to change things up. Similar to comic books in the West, which were created with children in mind, that's not the case any longer as the price of comic books increased and their customer base are primarily adults. Takara Tomy knows that they still need to attract the attention of those who have collected and are familiar with PLARAIL and the new generation of children who will continue to play them. It's a concept that has worked for the company, and PLARAIL has sold 186.4 million cumulative units since the brand began. So of course there were those who were skeptical, as Takara Tomy had once attempted to attract adults fans twice before. Back in 1972, Tomy released Super Rail, and the catchphrase was, "When you graduate from PLARAIL, it's time for Super Rail." And the company released these trains that were similar in size to HO gauge and using sleeper type tracks, which made it different from PLARAIL. These trains went forward and reverse, but at the same time, Super Rail used precision parts which children couldn't really handle that well and thus were prone to damage. And because they were electric, they required many dry cell batteries. Let's see if I have a photo of a Super Rail right here. I think we do. Here we go. This is from the user Keketsu Train, posted some photos on X. And so this is the let's see here. This is the Super Rail. Let's see if we can go a little, see if we can get another photo here. There we go. So these are how the train rails and everything look like. Different, and you can see the little thin plastics that were used. But hey, they were popular at the time, and by 1976, Tomy would release TOMIX and would focus on an older demographic than Super Rail. And so you know what happens then? People moved on to Engage, the adults. Engage would become popular, and sales for Super Rail slowed down by the end of its run. 7 locomotives, 8 trains, and 12 freight cars were released. Takara Tomy would again try to find a middle ground between PLARAIL and their TOMIX Engage line, and to release something within the middle would lead to PLARAIL Advance in 2011. PLARAIL Advance featured a concept of running smaller trains on one standard PLARAIL track. So 2 trains can be put on one track. Let's see if I have a video here. There is a video of the developer interview from Takara Tomy, but we're gonna just skim through this video real quick and we're gonna play it. Okay, as you can see right here, pretty cool, almost like Engage, but they ride on the standard blue plastic tracks that PLARAIL uses, and also special tracks that they also created. So this was the the 3700 series Shinkansen basic entry level set. But yeah, that was a PLARAIL Advance right there. And while some embraced the concept, PLARAIL Advance would only have 13 releases. And for the naysayers, this was enough to convince that for those who wanted to spend under 2860 yen, PLARAIL was the cheapest way to go, while those who wanted to take the next step up, they should invest in Engage model trains, which ranged on the low end from 6,500 to 12,500 yen, which is about 45 USD to 86 USD. So what Takara Tomy ended up doing was taking that PLARAIL concept and developing a new series with adults in mind, making it more realistic than the standard PLARAIL was, with a lot more detail. Details such as window frames, exterior panels, LED destination displays, realistic pantograph designs, seats inside the cars, destination display boards, and car numbers. And so that would lead us to the PLARAIL Real Class, as you can see right here. Let's scroll down to some of these. And you can see the new video that they just released of the 185 series here. Okay, we'll just take the music out of there. But you can see right here of the detail that went on to create these trains. Just amazing detail right here. As you can see there, they have seats too. And the pantograph. And this is PLARAIL Real Class. This is the new one that was just started back in 2023. Very nice. Granted, you know, super deformed. I guess you could say it. That's a term in Japan that they use. You might see it with anime characters when they're super shrunken down, SD, super deformed. So, you know, they added 3 gray track trains, aka real straight rails per package. Let me go back to that real quick. By the way, just to show you the detail, here's the tracks right here. You can see different from the blue tracks, right? So adding 3 gray tracks, also known as real straight rails per package, and not utilizing the blue standard PLARAIL tracks, it became a premium product priced at 7,700 yen. It's about 48 bucks right there, USD. And given the PLARAIL Real Class trains a much cooler packaging. Let's see if we have the packaging right here. I don't think it's on here, no, but let me go. Actually, what I'll do, let's let me do a little thing here real quick. Sorry, everyone. So you can see the standard packaging right here. There we go. For PLARAIL Real Class. This is mine right here. So this is the 485 Limited Express series, the Raicho. But naysayers once again criticized Takara Tomy because if people wanted to spend around 7,700 yen, they would go for Engage trains, and criticize Takara Tomy for such a price point. Part of the beauty of Engage trains is the ability to control your train from going forward to reverse. They are much smaller and has a built-in motor and lighting. Yes, you do get a lot for your money, but while having Engage trains is cool, there are factors that make it troublesome for people. For one, most train collectors love building dioramas around their trains, and this takes a lot of financial responsibility and investment, maintenance, and many hobbyists see it as a labor of love. But to have lavish dioramas, you need to have the room to make it happen. And for many Japanese who lived in cramped, apartments, this is not something that everyone can do, right? So with PLARAIL, not many build elaborate dioramas, but with the low cost of tracks, they can easily assemble and disassemble their own tracks. And these trains run on a single AA battery, no controllers or wiring needing whatsoever. Takara Tomy has had long success with its Engage a la TOMIX, and success with its PLARAIL, and as they have had with their die-cast metal line, aka TOMICA. So, what about this PLARAIL Real Class? will, so far with the success of its first year, will it succeed for multiple years? Well, for train lovers, the lower price of PLARAIL does offer its convenience, but with consumers now growing older and Takara Tomy being affected by the low child birth rate in the country, you can't blame them for trying something different. As of August 2024, there now has been a total of 8 PLARAIL Real Class trains releases. No doubt convenient for consumers to collect, and a lot of adult PLARAIL fans who love the detail have since become fans, and along with that, they have become increasingly hard to get as resellers are nearly quadrupling the prices for these trains. Because of its premium price, these are not going to be found as easily as standard PLARAIL. And in the past year, it has been a trend that if you don't pre-order a PLARAIL Real Class train, chances of obtaining one becomes a challenge, and whether or not you are willing to pay a high price just for that item, I guess it's all subjective, right? In a way, it's an adult problem that children don't have to worry about, because normal PLARAIL are for the kids or the young at heart, and a lot of places do sell them. But PLARAIL Real Class are for those who can afford it, primarily adults or children who have generous family or friends who will buy them one. But children or adults interested in PLARAIL Real Class will always know that they can work on the same tracks with standard PLARAIL trains. Developer Iwata-san told the magazine MODEMO, the most important thing was to make possible to play with regular PLARAIL trains. To achieve this, we had to design it accordingly to PLARAIL standards. The length and height of the trains are fixed, and we also had to consider the safety of children. So we struggled to decide which parts to focus on and which to leave out. For example, if we used clear parts for the window glass, the width of the chassis would not fit within standards. We struggled to figure out how to make it thinner. We also struggled with the design of the driver's seat and the air conditioner, which are both tall. In the end, we created a high type for display and a low type for running and enjoying, and by making them interchangeable, we were able to complete the ideal body. In fact, this item has another big feature. That is, it can be enjoyed as a display piece. To achieve this, they went to great lengths to develop a realistic straight rail that can also be displayed rather than using the usual blue rails. So despite the declining birth rate in Japan, there was a boom by adult collectors, which was being driven by demand for trading cards, plastic models, figurines, model trains, and other products aimed at adults. And by using the latest technology to create adult models based on familiar toys with what people once played with, while creating a sense of nostalgia, it makes it much easier for adults to become interested. And with PLARAIL, the first 2 trains that were released received so much positive feedback, letting Takara Tomy know that there are collectors who love PLARAIL Real Class. For nostalgia, the fact that many of the PLARAIL Real Class releases are based on Showa-era trains from the defunct Japanese National Railways, JNR, and many of these classic trains are being purchased and stores are out of stock, goes to show its popularity. Gone are the limitations of precision parts and many dry cell batteries of the Super Rail, or the shrinking down trains such as PLARAIL ADVANCE, which many felt was competing with Takara Tomy's TOMIX line. But now you have trains with detail that fits the middle ground released for the company so far. Will sales going great for PLARAIL Real Class and it becoming a success for the long-time toy company? It remains to be seen if the magic will continue 5 years or a decade or more from now. With Takara Tomy celebrating the 65th anniversary of PLARAIL, and with many lessons learned from their previous attempts, perhaps this third attempt was what Takara Tomy needed to attract adult collectors. I guess we'll find out and see. But, by creating trains that can be used for play or display purposes, it helps that Takara Tomy is focusing on quality and not releasing a flood of trains. In fact, in 2024, it appears that Takara Tomy has scaled back their releases of PLARAIL and are focusing more on children and adults who are gravitating more towards the company's hugely popular Shinkareon, transforming robots and trains, toys, and wrapping trains for a younger audience. But yeah, PLARAIL Real Class is doing very well, but will it succeed for many years? We'll just have to wait and find out. Take care, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Wink, wink. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.